Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about my personal program for January 2022, or at least one section of it. We've made several videos about this topic previously. We made a video about my personal program for December 2021, and that was laying out this format. A program, Snatch, building to 20 minutes to 21 reps per minute. B program, long cycle, 10 reps per minute, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 20 total minutes, 100 total reps. And the C program is the Strong and Fit Mill Squat program, which is there to help us balance out the movement patterns from the snatch and the long cycle. December was a test where we were looking for what we needed to do with this idea. The idea with the snatch is that we are trying to get to 20 minutes with the 25. Our goal is way over here. And we have a lot of steps to go through to get there because we have competition adjustable kettlebells, which allow us to adjust 1 kilogram at a time. That is something that I really like, and I highly recommend everybody do it because we can have a lot more steps than just the traditional weights. The traditional weights would be 16 and then the 24, and then the expanded weights were the 20K, and then they got 2K jumps. But by having the 17, the 19, the 21, the 23, and the 25, we get a lot more workouts. That is good, because the more workouts we have on the way to our goal, the more time our tendons and our ligaments have to adapt. The workouts I have done so far were the 16K, and we didn't know where we were going to start, but we wanted to start generally easy because I haven't done fast, long-term snatches in several years. So we started with the 16 and we went 12 minutes, 14 minutes, 16 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, 21 reps inside of a minute, set on a metronome, do 21 reps, change hands. So the number always has to be even over here. And we had gotten down here and we started doing some alternate workouts. Once we got to 18 minutes, we did a 17. When we did 20 minutes, we went to the 18 to see how that felt for 12 minutes. We decided we would go to 22 and try the 19. And then the workout after that was a long cycle workout, and I pinged my hamstring, which caused me to trip into a decision cycle in our program. You cannot just go straight up in linear strength forever. Eventually, you will break down. That is just something that happens no matter what. You cannot just add weight forever. Eventually, there is a physiological limit to how fast your body can adapt. We're always playing with our program design to see if we can get people to adapt faster or better. We add more steps in the training, these odd weights, the 17, the 19, the 21, the 23, and the 25, because that adds another 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 workouts to the overall path, and at twice a week, that would add us into another 13 weeks of training, which will mean that our overall outcome will be better. We will spend another 13 weeks focusing on our breathing, allowing our heart time to adapt, which is kind of really the hard part with an exercise like this, and allowing the tendons and the ligaments to adapt to the speed and the load. Originally, this idea for the snatch comes from the Secret Service snatch test, which is 10 minutes of snatches with a 24K, and your goal is to get 200. That's 20 reps per minute. The whole idea of this overall programming cycle is we are trying to double the Secret Service snatch test, and we are trying to give ourselves a margin of error going from 20 reps per minute to just 21 reps per minute. Now, I wouldn't recommend that if you only have these core weights of 16, 20, and 24, but because we have an adjustable kettlebell, I'm gonna go with 21 reps and get just a little bit faster so that there's a margin of error at the end of this program down here. We don't know when my ability to hold the speed will break down, but when it does, we have this whole section of the graph down here. So think 0 to 10 minutes is up here, 1/3. Everything that we're doing is focusing on the 2/3, 12 to 20 minutes. If we lose our ability to hold our speed, then we are going to drop weight and we are going to add time with the light weights. And we will go 1/3 above what we actually need to do with the 24. 20 minutes is not the bottom of the graph. It's just the goal line of the graph when we get over here. Everything in this big block of training is what we are trying to accomplish. That is 5 workouts times 10 weights is a total of 50 workouts. At twice a week, that would be 25 weeks or half a year. It's the first week of the year, so we should be able to get here by, mid-June-ish, maybe. But we will break down somewhere. We don't know where yet. Our hamstring already pinged on us here, and we have a plan to go back and work on that. So we also have to have a plan to do the same thing for the snatch. And that plan is this section of the graph here, where we can drop weight below the weight that we started at 16K, and we have a 12, 13, 14, and 15, and we have all of those workouts, 10 workouts in there. That's 4 weights times 10 workouts. There's another 40 workouts right there. We don't think that we'll have to do all of these, but we think that we might do this block down here. So on my next snatch workout, what I'm going to do in order to make sure that I'm letting my hamstring rest but not stop moving is we're going to go way light. Down here from the 19 to the 12. I'd go lighter if I could, but that's the lightest I have. And we're going to try to go down here and do 22, 24, and then the 13, 22. And we're going to bounce around here and work on these workouts until we are sure that our hamstring has recovered. We are not going to stop moving. Some people tell you just to stop for 4 weeks. My injury is not bad. It's not like a complete disruption or anything. It's a ping. It's my body intentionally slowing me down because my body thinks that it might get hurt. That alters your movement patterns. It makes things weird. Your body will shift load to one side of the spine. So my left leg was really injured 10 plus years ago. I ripped my leg in half, LCL disruption, PCL disruption, popliteus tendon, all totally gone. And so we know that we can do these exercises. We're strong enough to do them. But what we're looking to do is we're trying to make our movement patterns consistent so that we can build more endurance. Endurance is 3 things. It is structure, breathing, and movement combined. The structure will vary as you get tired. As you get tired, my body will try to shift towards my good side, which is what happened on the long cycle. My breathing is fine, but the movement, somewhere in the middle, I might be shifting somewhere to the side. So in order to make sure that I don't do myself more damage, I'm going to drop weight and come down here. It doesn't bother me if I get to my final goal after June. I'm not really training for anything in particular right now. We're just setting year goals and we're stacking up on top of them to do things that I could not have even thought of doing maybe 3 years ago. Great thing about COVID and lockdown is it has pushed me to come up with all kinds of new goals to set. And I've gotten very much into this endurance kettlebelling idea. The snatch at 20 minutes is double a Secret Service snatch test, but 30 minutes is really what's called a half marathon. The max speed for the marathon, I believe, is 20 reps per minute, but I'm taking it to 21 just to give myself a little bit of extra play in the system so that I could slow down later and be totally fine. So that is our snatch layout. Taking us through January. January will be this lower block down here where we're doing step down as we bring our long cycle back up and let our hamstring recover from injury. And then we will see what has to happen after that. We don't know when we will break down and lose our ability to hold the speed. I assume that it's probably right in here in the 20, 21, 22 range, because that's pretty fast and I just haven't done snatches in a long time. It's not that it's heavy or it's hard. It's a long time to hold that level of technique. I'm not used to it, so we're building into that. We don't know if we're going to have to alter the mill squat portion of our program yet for a step down, but we might. Our mill squat program is really there to help us recover from the snatch and the long cycle. Think of the snatch and the long cycle as heaving, moving straight up and down, and pitching, hinging at the waist forward and back. Think of that like barbell clean and press. And the snatch is the same thing. It's up and down, hinging forward and back. But when you're controlling one hand, you're controlling counter rotation, so that also has a lot of yaw in it. So these two movements that we're training are very, very focused on just two planes of movement. The mill squat program is going to cover a lot more of the ranges of movement to try to keep us healthier, keep our spine healthy. With something like this big program here, we are in severe danger of overtraining the crap out of ourselves and causing ourselves injury, especially with the number of injuries I already have. So that mill squat program is there as a safety valve, where we don't do kettlebells on that day, we do clubs. It's a totally different position for the shoulder, for the arm, for the core. The breathing pattern is different. It is our almost muscle confusion, if you want to say that, in this program. Obviously, recovery will be very important, and we'll probably talk about the recovery or the warm-ups in a different video, because I'm doing very long warm-ups in the 20-minute range, and I'm doing very long cool downs in the 20 to 30-minute range, and we'll talk about that in another video.